Hey, my little angels, come on in. Come in. It's a cook with me day. Come on in. Everybody come in the kitchen. Crowd around. Shorter people at the front, taller at the back. Okay. The hammocks and the rocking chairs and all the meditation cushions, everything's out there. So everybody can help themselves when we're done in here. And don't worry, we are making refreshments today. Well, we're making a dessert today. We're making rice pudding, but I'll get to that in just a second. So for the chilled beverage today, I thought we would do a sparkling punch. So I have cranberry ginger ale. Have you all had that before? Okay, it's delicious. So I put that in a big pitcher with some orange juice, with a lot of frozen fruit for ice cubes, really. So there's strawberries, cherries, and mandarin orange slices. And it's delicious. I also have a sugar-free version, so we can help ourselves there. And for the hot beverage today, I thought we'd do different types of tea. So I have a bunch of yogi teas. Has anyone tried the Yogi brand? Oh, they're delicious. I have a calming, a restorative, one for cold support. I've heard a few sniffles back there. So help yourselves to that. There's lighteners all the way from artificial coconut milk all the way up to whole milk or cream. Actually, we have cream today. And for sweeteners, everything from agave, Splenda, stevia, sugar, raw sugar, brown sugar, maple syrup, honey, you name it, I've got it. Okay. So, hi. You haven't been here before, have you? We have new little angels, guys. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the kitchen. I normally do ASMR, and I'm still gonna do ASMR. We can totally do them. Tapping, tapping, tapping. But I like to do some basic cook with me's, just to get things going. Ignore my potatoes back here. Those are for dinner later. But I've been hankering, before I tell you what I've been hankering, welcome in. Please give it a thumbs up. You can share it. Sharing is caring, after all. If you silently watch, that's okay. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad for the company. Thank you. But if you're comfortable commenting, we love comments on this channel. I love watching all of you interact with each other. I love interacting with you. I love to know what you think, what you feel, your ideas, your suggestions, your questions. I love replying back to you. And I love doing it because when we interact like that, we connect. When we connect, we take this great big world and go and make it smaller. And that's a really good thing, guys. And please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And hello to my returning little angels. Hi guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you're always here. I'm so glad for the support and the company and the love. You guys are just amazing. I love you all. And please make sure you're still subscribed. So I have been hankering for rice pudding. I love rice pudding, and it never fails. When I have leftover rice pudding, the only recipes I can find are with raw rice. When I have raw rice, the only recipes I find is with cooked rice. So I said, the hell with it. We're gonna make up our own recipe today. I know the basics of it, and I want to show you that you don't always have to have a recipe. Sometimes you just need to know the basics. Now, cooking, that's really easy. Baking is a science, but rice pudding is just cooked rice and a custard, okay? And a custard is just eggs and milk cooked together with some sugar. How hard can this be? And I remember my mom doing this, so I do know the basics. So what I have in here is approximately 2.5 cups of cooked rice. Now, this rice, like I said, I didn't have any cooked rice, and the recipe I'm using was my mom's, loosely. So I just made some up really quick. And the way to do that is 1 part rice. So I don't care if you're using half a cup, 2 cups, whatever. 1 part rice, 1.5 parts water. And you put it on your stove until it comes to a boil. Then you cover it and put it on low to simmer. So it's barely cooking, and you leave it alone for 25 minutes, 25 minutes, okay? Then you turn it off, push it off the burner, and leave it alone for 15 to 20 minutes, okay? That's gonna give you nice, fluffy, flaky rice. To make this rice, I didn't leave it 20 minutes just to absorb, and because I want sticky rice. I want starchy rice for my rice pudding. It'll help thicken it without any issues. So I'm just using the pot that I cooked the rice in. I'm putting it on the stove. I'm gonna add my rice to the pot. Don't worry, once we get going, I'm gonna show you guys all of this. Now, you wanna add an equal amount of milk or dairy or coconut milk. Just taking that off right now. If you're gonna use soy milk or almond milk, I'm not actually sure, but I know for sure you can use coconut milk, okay? If you're vegan or anything. So I had this table cream left over from Christmas. So I'm just gonna pour it in my measuring cup because you want basically an equal amount. I said basically. So I'm gonna put in about 2.5 cups. Now, if I need any more than that, I'm going to use a little bit of water because water will evaporate and you don't lose the milk, you lose the water. So I'm just gonna pour that in. Okay, put that over here. Put that over here. And I'm gonna switch burners to this one, I think. There we go. So you're cooking on medium. Let's move you guys over here. Can you see better if I come over here? Yeah. So I'm just breaking up the rice. I just want the rice to absorb in a bit. Okay. So that's what we're doing. You do not need a lot of ingredients. Now, one sec. If I'm having something decadent like rice pudding, it doesn't have to be decadent because I'm using skim milk, lactose-free milk. Okay, there was maybe a quarter of a cup of cream. But I'm gonna use a half a cup of sugar. Now, and some salt, about a teaspoon of salt. You need the salt to bring out the sweet, and there's nothing worse than bland rice, okay? Now, I like my sweet. I like my rice pudding sweet. So as this is cooking, I will give the custard a taste when I'm ready. There we go. And we're just gonna stir it until it starts to simmer. Now, there's 3 other ingredients, right? So we have rice, we have some kind of milk, whatever kind of you want to mix, match, whatever. Actually, we need 4 more ingredients. You need rice, milk, sugar, sweetener, whatever you want to use. You could use maple syrup. Maple syrup is vegan, I believe. Yes, so you could use maple syrup. Agave you can use. I'm trying to think what else. Whatever sugar you want to use, you can use. Any sweet. You'll need a flavoring. I'm going to use vanilla and cinnamon. You need a spoonful of butter or butter substitute. Plant-based anything will work as well. And 1 egg. Now, if you don't have the egg, it's okay. My mom never used an egg. But all the recipes I've seen say to use an egg, and the people who make rice pudding that I really enjoy use an egg. So today I'm going to do the egg, but I am going to show you a really cool trick to temper your egg. And I'm going to explain to you what that means to temper. Because if I beat my egg and put it in here, when it's hot, it's going to scramble. And you don't want that. So what you gotta do is get the egg used to warmth. So you add a little bit of warmth to it, mix it in. So what we'll do is take spoonfuls of this into the egg and mix it up. Then when we add it back in and stir, it'll be just fine. I have 2 burners going right now. I just want to bring that up. Now, if you want to be fancy schmancy and you have a vanilla bean, you can just cut open your vanilla bean, scrape out the seeds and put them in. Don't get rid of that pod, throw your pod in. Or if you don't want to put your pod in because you take it out later, take a bowl of sugar that you have a lid for, put your vanilla bean pod into it, leave it alone. You'll have vanilla sugar for baking. So yummy, and it's such a nice thing to sprinkle on top of muffins. Muffins are another thing we're going to be baking today. We are going to make another favorite of mine, and it's something I hardly ever see people make. We are having orange pineapple muffins. I know, right? I know. But let's get this rice pudding going first, okay? Let me just grab the egg. So I'm going to pause you for 1 second. Be right back. See, I wasn't gone that long. I'm back. So let me just take something out of the oven, because while we're doing this, I've also been making granola. And we made granola once before. That's on another Cook With Me video, if you just look up granola. Making your own homemade granola is the best thing in the world. So here is my granola all made. And the trick to having, now, if you like your granola in little pieces, you can start cooling it on another cookie sheet. If you like chunks of granola, let it cool in the pan you cooked it in completely. Then you can break it into pieces. So that's what we're doing with this one. Okay, so now we're gonna break our egg, and I'm just gonna use the milk bowl. Why dirty another bowl, right? So I wanna do that. Where'd my fork go? Be right back. Just getting the fork. So, beat your egg. Candy's here with me, in case you're wondering why I keep looking down. Now, just use the measuring cup you've been using. Now, test your temperature, make sure it's warmish. Yeah. And you're gonna put that in a spoonful at a time and keep stirring it. That's the important thing, keep stirring it. So what we're doing is just introducing our egg to some warm. Okay? Okay. And now we can add the egg in, and we won't get scrambled eggs. Now, I once had a friend tell me, you won't get scrambled eggs as long as you keep stirring it. I don't trust that. I love you, I do, but I don't trust that. So I'm gonna keep simmering this, and you can see it's starting to thicken up, okay? So now I wanna add some cinnamon. And I'm not gonna add the vanilla yet. I don't know about you, but I like a good amount of cinnamon. Now you could also simmer the milk with a cinnamon stick before you cook it too. If you don't like the look of cinnamon, I don't mind the look of cinnamon. I prefer it actually. What's that, sweetie? Bless your heart. I knew somebody was gonna ask me about that. Yes, you can add raisins to it. I don't like raisins. You can add cranberries. Just promise me, if you add any dried fruit, soak it first. Preferably in a hot liquid, even if it's just hot water. Plump those suckers up a little bit. Pardon? Of course you can soak them in brandy. I recommend it. But you can see it's getting nice and thick, and it will thicken as it cools. Now, when I think it's thick enough, which it's not quite there yet, we take it off the heat and we add a tablespoon of butter and a splash of vanilla, and then you stick it in the fridge for a couple of hours to cool and set. Although I personally like warm rice pudding. My girlfriend Natalie and I, we both enjoy warm rice pudding. This is gonna be delicious, guys, it really is. Pardon, honey? Okay, the reason I add the vanilla at the end, this is vanilla we actually get in Mexico. I love Mexican vanilla, I really do. Because it's real, if you cook it for too long, I just find it loses all of its flavor, okay? However, if you buy artificial vanilla, and I know everyone tells you not to do that, but if you're gonna cook something and you want a strong vanilla flavor in it, artificial vanilla doesn't lose its flavor as you cook, whereas real vanilla would. So you put that in at the end so the flavor stays and it doesn't cook out. So do with that information what you will. I'm just telling you. Now, as you guys can see, this is really thickening up. I'm gonna show you. See, we're still gonna cook it a bit more, but you can see it's leaving a line. No. That needs more sugar. Now you do it, okay? I'm gonna add about another 1/4 cup of sugar. So, like I said, I like mine sweet. And the sugar also helps thicken it too. You shouldn't have to add cornstarch or anything like that, okay? This is just good old-fashioned rice pudding. Okay, so we take it off the heat, add our butter. I like to melt the butter before I add the vanilla because the butter may be room temperature, but it still helps cool it down a bit. Now I'm going to add probably a tablespoon of vanilla. Now, a cap is a teaspoon. Did you know that? Go ahead, measure it, check it out. How many teaspoons in a tablespoon? How many think 2? Nope, it's 3. A teaspoon is 5 milliliters, and a tablespoon is 15 milliliters. Okay. Oh, that smells so good. That smells like my childhood. Now, I'm just gonna let that stir a little bit. Now, some people will tell you just put a lid on this and leave it on the back of your stove for an hour. I'm gonna put it in a bowl. It helps chill it faster. And then I'll cover it with saran wrap. I cover it with saran wrap, and when I do, I pat it down to touch the surface. The reason you do that is so you don't get a skin, unless you like the skin. Because Jell-O skin to me is one of the best things in the world. It's like your own fruit roll up, but that's just me. Some people will bake their rice pudding so that they get that baked topping on top. It's up to you. Try different ways, okay? But I just hope you guys will give a try to an old-fashioned, lovely, lovely dessert that we have made in real time, okay? And let me know if you like rice pudding. I think people think it's one of those old-fashioned desserts that nobody really likes, or they've had really bad ones. But I think it's delicious, and I think anything homemade is good. And rice pudding with a little bit of Cool Whip on top, love it. Love it, love it, love it. So there we go. I'm just gonna pour this in the bowl and we're done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am gonna make a second video shortly on how to make those muffins. So I hope you tune into that one as well. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if there's a recipe that you guys would like me to make, and I'll show you how to make it or how I make it. I'm not a chef, I'm just me, but I think I'm a pretty good cook. So let me know and we'll see what we can arrange. So always remember that I love you, I value you, I honor you, I pray for you, and I am so very, very glad that each and every one of you was born.